You might not be where you would like to be in life right now, or where you imagined you would be. And if that's the case, I'm glad you clicked on this video. Exactly 1 year ago, I was in your position. I was working as a junior consultant in this organization that was part of my college. Now, on the outside, it was perceived as a privilege, right? It was a privileged position. I was literally getting approached by people in college, people my age, and they would ask me, how'd you do it? I also want to be a part of this organization. My parents were proud, my grandparents were proud, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy, and at first I had accepted to join because I thought it would be a good step forward in my life, in my career. But then I realized I wasn't doing something that I loved, and therefore I wasn't enjoying the life I was living. For the first time in my life, I was being acknowledged by people on the outside, which does wonders for your ego, by the way. But on the inside, I knew that this path, it wasn't going to help me fulfill my goals. Staying at that position, it was a safe bet. I knew that if I stayed there, I would have an amazing network by the time I finished college. I would easily be able to find a job. But then, what was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just wait for 3 years while I did something that I didn't enjoy? While I was waiting for college to end, just so I could have a pretty line on my resume at the end of it? Or, for once in my life, did I do what I wanted to do? I remember at the time I was hearing an audiobook. I believe it was from Tony Robbins. And one thing he said, it really stood out to me. He said, change happens when the pain of staying the same is bigger than the pain of change. And it really hit me, that quote, at the time, because I was going through an especially hard moment in my life. Disappointing the people around me and losing that status symbol of being in a privileged position, that was the pain of change. But then losing 3 years of my life doing something I did not love, that was the pain of staying the same. Therefore, I made my decision. The decision to pull the plug. I quit my position and followed my heart. Ended up creating this channel. And the only regret that I have is that I dragged this decision for months. It took me 3 whole months to gather up the courage to make the decision. And, until finally on New Year's Eve, I decided enough was enough. I decided I was going to make a change. And you can check this. It's literally the first video of my channel. It was filmed on the 31st of December 2023. And this is why the title of this video is something along the lines of, start changing your life before 2025. You don't have to wait until the New Year's Eve or until the new year to make an important decision. I know that in that part of the year, life seems limitless. You're super motivated. You feel like you could be anything you wanted by the end of the next year. But that motivation quickly wears off. January quickly comes and it just crushes your dreams. It crushes your hopes. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you start at a time where you have no motivation in the first place, then you can't lose it. And I know that I started in New Year's Eve, but I can tell you that if I had started 3 months prior, or even 2 months or 1 month prior, I would be way more ahead in the journey than I am at the moment. A huge part to making the decision is to identify the one thing that is holding you back. So, in my life, the one thing that was holding me back was the fear of losing that status symbol, or of disappointing my parents, my grandparents. And ultimately, once I pinpointed, the one thing that was holding me back, you kind of just have to put things on a scale. Am I really willing to sacrifice 3 years of my life just so I can keep these people happy? Not happy, the word that I'm looking for is, proud. So that I can keep these people proud. And essentially, what you're doing is that you are sacrificing your life. You're sacrificing your time just so you can place this mask in front of your face. And that's the mask that people see, right? But on the inside, you're actually just miserable. Once you do identify the one thing that is holding you back, I want you to think whether or not that is a strong enough reason for you to not follow your dreams, for you to not follow your heart. So start today. Get ahead of everyone else while they're still waiting for the earth to complete a lap around the sun. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. I love you either way. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.